So what we have here is a very quick prep cooking meal. The prepping part maybe not so. If you see the fine julienne of the red onions for the color and the green pepper a lot for the taste. If you don't like green peppers, use red, use yellow, but I'm putting a lot of peppers into this. And then the very thin sliced chicken breast that you buy, and you julienne this. Pasta, not white flour. Thank you. Very rarely use the white flour pastas unless I'm making my own. And this whole idea came around because I saw a can of these peeled plum tomatoes for $1. And I go, you know what? Let me use them today. So instead of buying I could have bought the crushed, but I like playing with this a little. So what I do is just put the tomatoes into a colander, like so, and then I will take them, I will squeeze them, and then I'll put them on a board and I'll chop them a little bit. But you don't have to go that route. You can use a pound of fresh tomato. But I'm using the can this time. And at the end of sauteing this with the chicken, then I'm going to add the tomato and, of course, a little heavy cream for my wife. She loves heavy cream. And I just happen to have a cup left in the freezer. I'm also going to mix into this the Japanese sweet potato. You have to work fast with this because it turns color. Peel it, make big chunks. I'm going to boil that in the water for the pasta first. Take it out and then cook the pasta. Meanwhile, I'll be sauteing this and the chicken. The chicken will take the same amount of time to cook as what you see here, the vegetables. So that's like 1, 2, 3. Very thin. You don't want to overcook the chicken. And then, let's see, what else are we putting in here? We're putting in sea salt to go into the vegetable and table grind black pepper. And then we also have the water, the salt in the water for the pasta, because you want the pasta to have its own flavor. And if you don't put salt in the water with the pasta, it's like bland, it has no taste. If you put the right amount of salt in the water and you just make pasta that way and mix a little olive oil in it, it's very tasty. And of course we have some grated cheese to throw over this at the end. So let me move things around and get started. I just turned the high flame on, and it doesn't have to be boiling yet to add the sweet potato. And when that's done, I'm going to put it back into this container, leave it over here, and then mix it into the entire dish later. Now I have plenty of time to go take care of the tomatoes, squeeze them, and I'm going to set the timer like from this point on. I'm going to put it at an hour, which it's not going to take. And I just want to see how long it's going to take doing this, doing that, and I'm guessing 20-25 minutes. The sweet potato at a boil takes about 8 minutes. You can always check it. By using a little skewer. You want them too soft or they'll break apart. So what we'll do now, we'll just save this. This has a very sweet, pleasant flavor. And a little firmer than the regular sweet potatoes that you buy, which will, if you're not careful, be mushy. Now our water's boiling. We're going to get the pasta ready, and now we're going to saute everything. While the water's boiling, I've had this on a very, very low. I'm going to turn it up a little. Going to add the olive oil, or you can use butter. That's your preference. High flame. Get everything ready. In about 4 or 5 seconds, I'm going to add everything. Tomatoes are ready. We're going to start off with the veggies because you can't really damage them too much. If they're overcooked or dropped, it's okay. It's the chicken that you have to worry about. The pepper's in there. And so is the salt. We're going to move things along here by putting a lid over this. Every time you cover something, you know it's going to cook faster. I like the red onion color. You can put carrots in here too if you want to. I'm not using any herbs because I have plenty of pepper and onion and garlic. So I'm going to saute that for a few minutes. Then I'm going to add the tomato and the chicken. Now that's only been about 2 minutes. And we're going to check for salt because this is seasoned. Now when the chicken goes in there, the chicken is going to absorb all of the flavor that's in there and the salt. So most likely you'll have to add more salt. Now you don't have to cook the peppers and the onions before the tomato a lot because this is going to simmer in here for a few minutes without the lid. And of course the peppers and onions are going to cook a little bit more. So we'll cut this film now and wait. That should be about 5-6 minutes. In over 600 of my recipes, I don't remember ever using tomato paste, maybe once. I just don't like it. It's acidic. And years ago when I was being trained in the kitchen, we used tomato paste, but I don't find any reason for it. You want to thicken this up and you put tomato paste in there? I would much rather have a nice light tasting tomato flavor than using tomato paste. And once you put this on the pasta, after you drain it, and never wash the pasta, because then of course the sauce will not cling to it. So you just ruin the whole dish by rinsing off the pasta. That's why timing is important. Now this has a great aroma right now, due to the, of course, the amount of peppers. If you like peppers, you will love this. So now we give this a little taste. Pleasant and light. If you like herbs, put in there whatever you like. We are going to have some more salt put in there. So whatever the salt was, I'm going to increase it and of course my wife later, she will add more salt to her plate. So now watch this. We are going to put the pasta and the chicken in at the same time. I'm using the whole box, a pound. Why? Because we like to have leftover. And a pound of chicken really shrinks up when it's cooked like this. So, and I always use a wide pot to cook the pasta. Cooks more evenly, just spread it around. Don't stick it in one big bunch. And now the chicken. And this is going to look good too, because everything is Julienne. You could have a sauteed chicken breast with it, but you know what? Watch how pretty this looks when it's put all over the pasta. Well, we're going to mix that a little bit more. Meanwhile, there is the pasta. I always use this pan for, and this holds like, put 4 quarts, well I put a little more water in there because we were cooking the sweet potato first. So there was like total of 4.5 quarts. And two tablespoons is not enough. So we'll add another one now. That's 3 tablespoons for the 4.5 quarts of. Now we go back to the chicken. And watch this. This is going to be done in about a minute. I could call this, and I think I will, because it has the ingredients for chicken cacciatore. So we'll name this chicken strips cacciatore with Japanese sweet potatoes. I like that. That looks like clam strips. By the time this pasta is almost ready, now where's my pasta spoon? Somebody moved it. Anyway. If I pulled the camera back across the room, then you could see everything what's going on. But when you do that, you're not close enough. I like to have the camera right on top of things. See how easy it is when you cook it in a pan like this? This pan holds about 5 quarts of liquid. And this is almost ready. And then we go back to the chicken. Take the lid off. If you notice how much time it's taken, it's done. Shut this off. Now my timing was a little bit off. I should have put the pasta in 2 minutes before the chicken. But this will be hot. And then we're gonna have, and YouTube is gonna come back to my video and say, oh, you have a shaky video, do you want us to adjust it? And I will say, yes, would you please adjust the video? Because it's shaky, because I'm nervous when I cook. I stopped making fresh pasta years ago. You wind up eating just too much of it. It is so good. So now I just cook whole wheat pasta, whole grain pasta, and be satisfied. And if everything else that goes with it, like this, the sauce here with the chicken, if it's tasty, sometimes you don't even know that you're not eating what you've been raised on, regular pasta. So, let's put the sweet potato into that, because everything has to be hot, and the sweet potato is still hot. This is a little different and unusual dish. It just popped into my head when I was in the little market that we have near me. I saw the sweet potato and I go, I've looked at it so many times, but I've never cooked it. There's other ways of cooking it, of course. But I said for this seems to be the easiest way for this dish. Now we're looking for al dente. Anybody know where he is? And this is done. Next thing you're going to see is this big bowl of pasta with this over it. I changed my mind about the big bowl because my wife's not home yet, so I have to leave this in here for like another half an hour. And then we'll be eating it. Well, let's just mix it up. Let's see the ratio of pasta to the rest of the ingredients, how that worked out. That's good. You could feed 4 average people with this. Or 2 hungry people with a little bit left over. And that's what we are here. 2 hungry people with a little left over. There you go. Nice pot of pasta. Hope you enjoy it. I made a little error here, as usual, what I do. I forgot about the heavy cream. So put the heavy cream in towards the end with the chicken, but I have to add it now because I have to have it in there. It just adds to the flavor. And then I'm going to put a lid on this and just warm it slightly before serving. How's that? Very good. Nothing was hurt, nothing damaged.